Hello and welcome to Lightning Lessons from CollegeDrive Test Prep and Tutoring. Each Lightning lesson is a 3-minute session focusing on a highly coachable aspect of the SAT or ACT. In fact, if you give us 3 minutes, we'll give you a higher test score. Today's lesson is on SAT math and doing the easier questions first. But sometimes it's not so easy to figure out which are the easier questions. But I'm going to show you a way to determine with pretty high certainty which questions are easier than some of the others. So let's jump in. On the SAT, there are 2 math sections. The first does not allow you to use a calculator. There are 20 questions and you have 25 minutes to do them. Now the questions become increasingly difficult as you move along. The first 15 questions will be multiple choice, and the final 5 questions will be what's called student-produced response or grid-in questions. As I've said, the questions get more difficult as you move along. However, there is an important exception to that. When you transition from the multiple choice questions to the grid-in questions, the difficulty resets. So that means the final multiple choice questions, they are very difficult. But then we transition to the grid-in questions are likely to be much simpler. Let's take a look at an actual example. As you can see here, these are questions 14 and 15 from the No Calculator section, and just glancing at them, you could see these are pretty challenging questions. Question 14 gives us a lot of text, some fairly complicated looking equations, and even if we can do that problem, it's going to take us longer than the minute and 15 seconds we can allot ourselves. Now question 15 is also one that may look pretty complicated. Those of you who are particularly strong in math may see that problem and not see it as too much of a challenge, but for many, that's a pretty challenging question. So let's jump ahead and look and see what questions 16, 17, and even 18 look like. Now, as you can see, we lose the advantage of having multiple choice options, so a couple of our problem strategies go away. However, look at how much simpler these questions appear. Question 16 is asking us a fairly basic question. It doesn't mean it's easy, but it certainly seems more digestible. And again, on question 17, a single variable problem, and then on question 18, a fairly basic right triangle problem that we can solve. Our focus today is not on actually solving these problems, but feel free to pause and go ahead and do that. It will be good practice. So what we want to do is skip ahead from the most difficult multiple choice problems and tackle those simpler grid-in problems. Will we see this again? Yes, we will, on the Math with Calculator section, which has 38 total questions. We have 55 minutes. That means we have a little bit more time per question, about 1.5 minutes, but the same dynamic is going to take place. The final multiple choice questions are almost certainly going to be more difficult than questions 31, 32, and 33 for the same reasons we've already explained. So here's an example of a question 29 and 30, and as you can see, pretty challenging content. Again, some of you math whizzes may have no problem at all, but for most of us mortals, these are real challenges. But if we jump ahead to questions 31 and 32, wow, I can tackle these problems. I'm going to do them first. I hope you enjoyed today's Lightning lesson, and you'll join us again for our next Lightning lesson. And just think, if we can raise your score in just 3 minutes, imagine what we can do in our full classroom and tutoring programs. For more information about CollegeDrive, please visit collegedrive.com or call us at 720-496-2244. Today's lesson is going to be on math. I'm going to do that again. So let's jump in. Come on, man. I hope you enjoyed today's Lightning lesson. And you'll join us again for our next. Is that how do I do that one? I think I did that out of order. I think normally I do it the other way. May do just the whole darn thing one more time.